Hey y'all, I'm getting ready to have a good old southern fish fry. We've got some bream, some catfish, we're gonna make hush puppies and french fries. So if that's something you're interested in, hang around and let's get cooking. Okay, I'm getting everything together, but I wanted to go over a few things first. Like I said, we're gonna fry fish, and I've got bream cleaned and ready to go. We're gonna make some crispy french fries and some hush puppies. And yes, I know it's not the healthiest meal that I fixed, but we're down south and we all eat fried food now and then. So get everything together that you're gonna need, and we're just gonna do it all at one time. Okay, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I always have my trash bag sitting right up here by my food, so it's a lot neater. In this pan, this is a 9 by 13, but you just use whatever you got. You can even use a bowl, it doesn't matter. I've got about 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, you can take regular milk and add a little bit of vinegar or some lemon juice in there, and that'll work. But we're going to put our fish in here. And we're just going to let them hang out in here and soak while we get everything else together. These fins are kind of sharp. Looks like my husband put some catfish fillets in here too. That'll work. I love catfish. I like to catch fish, but boy, I don't like to clean them. I love cooking them. No, I'm not into that cleaning. He gets to do that. Okay, and then we're gonna put this in our trash bag. Got the fish in here, and I had to wash my hands. I couldn't help it. So we're gonna scoop this to the side. Now, all I have in this pan is 3 scrambled up eggs. We may need to put more in there later, but we're going to start with 3. Okay, I have already washed my potatoes, and I'm using russet, and I soaked them in some salt water for a little bit. And now we're just going to put them in here in the eggs. No, we're not going to need any more eggs. This is going to be fine. You soak them in the water to get a lot of that starch out, and it'll make it a lot crispier. And we're gonna do this like we did the fish, and like I said, I'm gonna mix it around a little bit. Do this like we did the fish and just set it aside. Okay, I've got a couple of cups of cornmeal, and what we're going to do is take the fish and shake off the excess. Okay, we're going to take the fish out of the buttermilk and shake off the excess, and then we're just going to drop it into the bowl of cornmeal. And and it'll be like this. So you just cover it really, really good with the cornmeal. And we're going to let it sit in here for a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and do that with all the rest of the fish. You may need to add more cornmeal, you may not. But I've got a little bit of Cajun seasoning, just a few drops. Well, it's about 1/4 teaspoon in all this flour or cornmeal. We're gonna deep fry these instead of pan fry them, so I got the deep fryer heating up to 375 degrees. We had just enough cornmeal in there. Well, we've got one more catfish fillet and one more Bream to put in here. Okay, we're going to set this aside. I'm going to wash my hands. Okay, now we're going to get back to our French fries that we've got in the in the scrambled eggs, and we're going to drop them into a pan or a baking sheet of flour. And in the flour, I've just got a little bit of seasoning salt, and that's it. Alright, we're going to toss these French fries around in this flour to make sure they're all covered. I think that's got them all covered. And we're going to set these aside with the fish fillets that are in the cornmeal. And then we're going to get our Hushpuppies started. So, to begin with, we've got 1/2 cup of gluten-free flour, 1/2 cup cornmeal. I've got in this, I just put all my seasonings together, and what we've got is 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. I have got, can you see that? Salt-free onion and herb seasoning. I've got a teaspoon of that in there. I've got a teaspoon of the garlic herb seasoning. And then I've got 1/2 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. And we're just going to pour it all in there. Go ahead and mix this up. Just kind of whisk it together real good. Okay, we've got 3/4 cup of buttermilk. Okay. And I took 1/2 of a white onion and I pureed it in my food processor. And I threw 1/2 of it on the counter. And I have 2 jumbo eggs. The reason that we have 2 eggs is because we are using gluten-free flour, and this is going to replace the gluten, the protein. The protein's going to act as a binder. I'm just making a mess today. Okay, we've got that mixed up. So we're gonna add the wet ingredients into the dry. And then you can get a wooden spoon, or these are plastic. I like them better than the wooden. And just mix it together. You need to get like an ice cream scoop or something of that nature to dip this out with, and we'll dip it out in scoops to fry it up. Y'all hear my dog talking to you in the background, don't you? Okay, it was a little more moist than I like for it to be, so I added 2 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of cornmeal to go ahead and thicken it up. And then we're going to set this aside and wait for our oil to heat up, and then we'll get to cooking. Okay, so we've got our grease up to, well, I said 375, but I meant 350, and it's at 350 now. So, we're going to start with the fish. Okay, these have been in there for about 4 minutes. So the little ones need to come on out. And I don't put stuff on a paper towel to drain. What I do is I get my baking sheet, I line it with paper towel, and then I've got a rack. That way the grease can actually drain off of your food, and your food doesn't sit there in it. We're going to get this little piece out, and then we're going to let this go for another couple of minutes. And then we'll go ahead and give it a little flip in there. And like I said, that'll be ready to come out in a couple of minutes when it's good and golden brown. Alright, here we go. You see that? Isn't that nice? Go ahead and dump it on our cooling rack. They're good and coated. And then these will take about 5 minutes as well. And they'll be good and crispy golden brown when they're ready as well. Okay, see how nice and golden brown they are? Kind of drain that excess grease. Alright, I am putting them on the draining sheet, or the baking sheet, as I've told you. But in between times, while the other batches are frying, I'm going to put this back in the oven at 175 degrees just to keep it warm, so the fish doesn't get cold while we do everything else. So we're going to leave these in here for another 5 to 6 minutes and then check them out. Okay, now that we've got all of our fish done, we're gonna start on our Hushpuppies. And we're just gonna scoop a little bit out at a time and drop them in the oil. And we want these to cook until they're a dark brown. Okay, we're going to let them cook for about 10 minutes until they float up and they're a dark, rich brown. Okay, there's our Hushpuppies. And we've got a few more to make. That one got away. We're going to make a couple more. And then we'll get our french fries going. Well, I said a couple. How about a few? Okay. We'll get these going and then we'll get our french fries going. Okay, our Hushpuppies are done. Get them on the draining rack and put this back in the oven. And I'm going to get our french fries, so I'll be right back. Okay, we put our french fries in the flour, and they've been sitting in there. You know, we did the egg wash, and then put them in the flour. I'm just going to reach in here with my hands, so I want to make sure they still have enough flour on them. But I don't want to overcrowd the fryer. It's going to be so good and crispy. And we're going to fry these until they're golden brown. And that should take just a few minutes. Okay, our french fries are good and crispy. I'll put them on the draining tray. And then we'll probably have 2 more batches of them, and then we'll be ready to eat. Okay, y'all, thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click on the like button. Subscribe, share it with your friends, and smash that bell and click all for notifications so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you again and have a blessed evening.